Hey guys, Ken Smith Fishing. So I wanted to do a video based upon something that we did the other day on the off topic, and this is another off topic, but this is another off topic that's on topic. When I messed with Brian's boat, and then I talked to him that night or later that day, and I said, "You ran it the way I moved your weight around in it." And he goes, "No, I put it all right back." So I wanted to see, I know it makes a difference. I don't know how big a difference it makes. I wanted to see how big a difference it would make moving the weight around in the boat. Moving the weight, distributing the weight properly in the boat, properly in my mind. So this is not about how fast this Ranger Z521c is. It's not about how fast that Mercury 4-stroke is. This is a big boat. It's a pretty slow boat. But this was more about, I don't care if you're running a Bullet or a Champion, kind of the extremes there, or an Allison or a Nitro. If you set your boat up properly, you're going to get more speed, you're going to get more lift, and you're also going to get better fuel economy. Because if you think about it, if your boat will run 70 loaded wrong and 75 loaded right, that means at some place in there it's more efficient. So you're going to get better fuel economy out of the boat. So what I've done is I've taken all the weight. So I took my boat rather than the way it's normally set up, and I've moved all the weight forward in the boat just like the way that Aggie had his boat set up. I'm going to make a couple of passes. We're going to see what kind of speed we can get out of it, and then we're going to move everything back the way I normally run it. Now I am 43% full of fuel. I do have a dinged up prop, and by the way, for you speed freaks, if you've got, I've got an ear. I ran over a rock up at Grand Lake. If you've got an ear bent out a little bit or roughed edges, you're losing speed and fuel economy by running that kind of a prop. I just have not had a chance to pull that prop and get it cleaned up. I'll do that eventually, but just so you know that the prop that I've got on here right now is not absolutely perfect. So, but we're going to run it. Same prop will be on there for both these runs, and we're going to see what we can get out of it. We're going to check the hole shot. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of difference in the hole shot, but we'll see. That might be a difference too. And let's just check it out and see what we get out of this thing. I think it's going to be interesting to me. I think I already know the answer to that. So let's make the first run, and then we'll talk a little bit about what kind of weight differences we made. Okay, so loaded hole shot. So as I started going through my boat and pulling boxes out, I was like, man, that box is heavy. That box is heavy. So I was kind of curious how much weight I really was shifting around. So I did this little video in the world headquarters earlier just so we'd all get a sense of what kind of weight we're moving around in there. So check this out. Okay, so we've seen that I've shifted the boat around, but I think it's important to get an idea of what kind of weight we're moving around here. So I just pulled out some boxes and some soft plastics. I've shown this to you guys before. This is how I carry my soft plastics. This is a little, it's actually a lingerie bag is what it is. This one's made by Gain, and I am not Gain national team, but you buy them. I bought these at the dollar store, Dollar General. And what I like about them is they have zipper tops on them. You can see through them. As you can see, you can write on them, and that way your baits dry out. So if you get splash on them or something, put them in here. They don't just get all stunk up. So that is my lizards, baby brush hogs, and centipedes. Okay. So I'm gonna put it in this bag right here. Let's just see what one of those weighs. By the way, there's 10 of those in the boat right now because there's 9 of them, and there's a day bag that I carry in the boat with me. Okay. That's 3 pounds and 11 ounces. So let's call that 30 pounds. Probably a little bit more than that because the Cinco bag has a whole bunch more than the rest of them. All right, and then I have 15 to 20 of these boxes in the boat at any one time. That's my rattle trap box. Just the rattle trap box alone is going to weigh 3.11 pounds. So that's another, I'm going to say 50 to 70 pounds of boxes. And if I have all that weight up front, and that's not, well, let's look at one other thing. I'm curious now that I'm doing this. Let me pull one other box out and let's take a look at it. So one of the things I did a couple of years ago when I started figuring out, and by the way, a lot of this comes from a couple of my buddies who went to lithium batteries. And they went to lithium batteries thinking that they could take 200 pounds out of the back of the boat, replace it with 15 to 30 pounds, and they'd pick up a bunch of speed. And what they discovered to a man, now somebody out there may have had a different experience, but all of them discovered it made less than 1 mile per hour difference in boat speed. And that's because bass boats are designed to carry the weight in the back. That's why the live wells are back here. That's why the batteries are back here. That's why the gas tank is back here. Center line back, right? So when I figured this out, I carried something that looked like this, actually this very box, with all my sinkers in it. But what I discovered was I had 30 half-ounce bullet sinkers in there. And I had 30 or 40 Carolina rig sinkers in there. So I cleaned that up a bunch and went to a much, much smaller bag. But I'll bet you that bag is still, it might not be as heavy now that I feel of as I think it is. 3.5 pounds right there again. And by the way, so that's not the only box I carry sinkers and stuff in. This is my hook box. So it's got hooks and it's got a handful of sinkers, and I stick up, there's a jigging spoon or two stuck in there, just kind of stuff I got to get to quick usually. That's the box that I get out more than any other box. So I try to keep a little bit of everything in that box. That box weighs 5.5 pounds. So the way Brian had his boat loaded, he had, I'm going to say, at least 150 pounds of weight in the front of his boat. By the way, Jim Tutt, if you're watching this, I know you were once guilty of this too. In the front of the boat that could easily be moved to the back of the boat. So that's the kind of weight stuff we're talking about. You can laugh and say, Ken, you got too much junk in there. I probably do. I don't know if you've heard Kevin Van Dam say the funnest time for him to drive a bass boat is during the break-in period because he hadn't put all his stuff in there. He says, I carry way too much stuff. And you can imagine with Kevin Van Dam getting all that free stuff, how much stuff he really does carry. But I'll bet you if you go counting your boxes, you carry just as much, if not more stuff than me. Not on top of carrying 20, 25 rods and reels and all the spare line and all the other stuff I carry. So this experiment. Actually, let's finish the ride up. Okay, loaded the way I like to load it. Oh, whole shot. Okay, I would call that a successful experiment. So we changed nothing about the boat. We didn't unload anything. We didn't spend a nickel. All we did
was move stuff around, and we went from under 70 to, I think it topped out at 71.3 there, which is a pretty substantial. I mean, look, again, it ain't 5 miles an hour, but it's a pretty substantial gain for just getting your boat loaded correctly. If I take some junk out of it, the old Ranger might run 72, which I may try later this weekend. So there you go. Got some other things I want to talk about, so let's cut away right here. Hey guys, a quick cutaway. You know the off-topic stuff. We talk about off-topic stuff. So in addition to talking about making the boat run faster and the proper boat load, we talked last time about the WIC, the Women, Infants, and Children's Food Program here in Texas. And again, being married to somebody who thinks about this stuff, there's a lot of folks in need all over the country right now, and certainly right here in our little world headquarters town of Zavala, Texas. So we are going to make a donation to the Zavala Food Pantry. We're going to do it on Tuesday morning. So if you want to join in, they take cash donations at any time, and I'll be glad to share that. Matter of fact, I'll put the contact phone number and the information right here, so if you want to make that donation. They also take food donations from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock up on Highway 69 here just out of town between Zavala and Lufkin on the west side of the road. You'll see it right there. It's a little white building from 8 to 10 every Tuesday morning. But we're going to make a run. So I've asked Outlaw Outdoors and I've asked the Newberry family to kick in, and they've each kicked in $100. We're kicking in $100, so that's $300. And we're going to go to Sam's Club Sunday and buy a bunch of food and drop it off over there Tuesday morning. We're going to find out exactly what their biggest needs are and do that. If you have any interest in doing that, if it's $1 or $1 million, whatever your number is, you can throw it to me at my PayPal account right there at the bottom of the screen. And I promise you, if you do that, we will make sure that we buy food for you on your behalf for the Zavala Food Pantry as well. If you don't want to do that, I'm sure your hometown has a food pantry that's scrambling for food right now, because there's a lot more people in need and a lot less people with incomes to make those contributions. So it's not a lot on our behalf, but we wanted to help out a little bit, and we would love if you would do it in your own hometown or right here in Zavala, Texas, if you support the Lake Country area as well. And you can make that, just do it for us before Sunday, probably noon, if you would, so we know that money's in there and we'll spend it at Sam's and try to get the best bang for our buck. So there you go. That's all I wanted to say about that, and appreciate you guys letting me kind of go off on these little tangents every once in a while. Thanks, guys. Okay, so a lot of guys don't watch my whole videos, and there's some secrets the pros use to make these big boats go super, super fast. So this is one of the little secrets of how to get a big Z521 Ranger to run about 80 miles an hour. And I'm going to share it with you guys right here to close out this video. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all again. We'll be fishing tomorrow, and we'll get some video posted up of fishing. But here's how to get a big Ranger to go 80. Check it out. Yeah, you just power it with diesel. See you guys.